Have you ever wondered why some people seem to advance financially at an impressive speed while others work hard all their lives and never manage to get ahead? The truth is that wealth is not an accident, nor is it a matter of luck. Wealth responds to hidden principles, secrets that most people don't know about, and those who apply them multiply their results in months, not decades. Today, you're going to discover 10 powerful secrets to get rich quickly. Secrets you won't learn in school or university, but that apply to everyone from top entrepreneurs to the world's most influential investors. And the best part? You don't need millions in your bank account to get started. You just need to open your mind, absorb these laws, and put them into practice right now. Imagine how your life would change if, in the next 12 months, you could build the foundation for your financial freedom, generate income that doesn't depend on your time, and begin living with the peace of mind that money is no longer an obstacle, but a tool. Stay with me until the end, because each secret connects to the next, and missing just one could be the difference between staying where you are or taking the leap toward a life of abundance. Before we begin, I want you to write in the comments, "I am ready to receive abundance." Because when you declare your intention, your mind begins to align with the wealth you deserve. Get ready, because what you're about to hear today can mark a before and after in your financial life. Law 1. The silence that multiplies your wealth. Great fortune builders understand a principle that seems simple, but that very few apply. Silence is a financial asset. We live in an age of overexposure. Everyone shares what they do, what they plan, even what they dream. But the most influential millionaires rarely announce what they're building. Why? Because they know that revealing the plan ahead of time doesn't add up, it subtracts. A study from New York University showed that when a person publicly shares their goals, the brain releases dopamine, the same reward hormone activated when achieving a goal. The result? Your mind feels like you've already accomplished something, even if you haven't even taken the first step, and that drastically reduces your motivation. Think about this. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 92% of people abandon their New Year's goals within the first few weeks. One of the main reasons is precisely this: they talk more than they do. They waste energy talking about it, receiving opinions, criticism, or even ridicule, and there's nothing left to execute. Working in silence doesn't mean hiding. It means creating a fertile space where your ideas grow away from external contamination. Imagine a newly planted seed. If you dig it up every day to show it off, it will never germinate. The same goes for your financial projects. Silence gives you 3 key advantages. 1. Protection from outside interference. People express their opinions based on their fears, not your vision. By remaining silent, you prevent others from sowing doubt in your favor. 2. Absolute focus. What you don't share with the world becomes a pact with yourself. It's a silent contract that strengthens your discipline. 3. Multiplied impact. When you finally reveal your achievements, they're no longer promises, they're results. And results have a power of credibility that no words can match. Remember, financial markets move silently before exploding publicly. The same is true of personal wealth. First, it's built in the invisible, then it manifests in the inevitable.
Law 2. The power of armored time. There is something scarcer and more valuable than money: time. You can lose money and win it back. You can make a mistake in an investment and recover. But every minute gone never comes back. That's why the truly rich don't just protect their money, they protect their hours like diamonds. Warren Buffett, with over $118 billion, has said it many times. The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. He doesn't say this out of arrogance. He says it because he understands that armoring time is armoring life itself. Most people think in terms of monthly salaries or annual earnings. Millionaires think in terms of hourly value. A study by the consulting firm McKinsey revealed that high-level executives value their time at figures ranging from $500 to $5,000 per hour, depending on the industry. Now imagine how much time is wasted by those who spend 3 hours a day on unnecessary commutes, unproductive meetings, or conversations that add no value. That can mean an invisible cost of tens of thousands of dollars a year. Protecting your time isn't being selfish. It's understanding that every minute you give away to distraction is a minute you steal from your financial freedom. Think of your day as an investment portfolio. Every hour invested in financial education is an asset that generates future dividends. Every hour spent on purposeless social media is a liability that consumes energy and reduces your productivity. Every protected and focused hour is a seed that over time multiplies into income, opportunities, and personal growth. The key is learning to say no. No to meetings that don't have a clear agenda. No to people who drain your energy without contributing anything. No to digital distractions that fragment your attention. Protecting your time is like diversifying an investment portfolio. You can't afford to put everything in the hands of others. You are the manager of your schedule. And here comes the most important reflection. If you don't value your time, the market won't either. To ingrain this idea in your mind, I want you to write it right now in the comments. I accept success and happiness in my life. Do it with conviction, because protecting your time is protecting the space where success and happiness flourish.
Law 3. Learn less, apply more. We live in the information age, where there has never been so much knowledge available, and at the same time, there has never been so much paralysis. Most people consume books, courses, podcasts, and conferences, but never take the leap to action. And here's the paradox. Information without application is not an asset, it's a liability. True financial growth occurs when you move from knowing to doing. Because real learning isn't in theory, but in the market, in direct contact with risk, in daily practice. An entrepreneur who takes the plunge, fails in 3 months, and tries again, learns more about economics, marketing, and sales than someone who spends 5 years accumulating degrees without creating anything. In fact, a Stanford University study revealed that entrepreneurs who fail in their first businesses are 20% more likely to succeed on their second attempt. The reason is simple. Practical experience generates lessons that no book can offer. Unapplied knowledge is like debt. It accumulates, generates interest in the form of frustration, and makes you feel like you're always missing something to get started. Action, on the other hand, is invested capital. Every imperfect step you take is like putting money into a mutual fund. It may not bear immediate fruit, but it turns into experience that sooner or later pays dividends. The difference between someone who studies and someone who acts is the same as that between a financial analyst and a real investor. The analyst can write entire pages about trends, but it's the investor who takes risks, invests capital, and receives returns. One observes, the other multiplies. Remember, imperfect action will always trump eternal preparation. Law 4. Become deserving of wealth. Money doesn't come because you want it, it comes because you deserve it. And deserving it isn't a matter of luck, it's a matter of creating real value for others. Many people get frustrated because they feel they're working hard and not receiving what they expect. But wealth doesn't respond to isolated effort, but to the value you generate in the market. Money always moves toward where it finds utility, efficiency, and solutions. Think of it this way. If you earn $1,000 a month today, that income reflects the level of value the market perceives in your work. If you want to earn $10,000, it's not enough to simply desire it. You need to multiply the value you provide for the difference to make sense. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in 1994 with a simple idea: to sell books online to save people time and effort. That value proposition, so small at first, evolved into a system that today solves the lives of more than 300 million active customers. His personal fortune, which exceeds $190 billion, didn't come out of nowhere. It's the consequence of creating exponential value for millions of people. The same goes for Elon Musk. His wealth doesn't come from asking the universe for money, but from solving gigantic problems: electric transportation, digital payments, space exploration. Every solution he created generated value on a massive scale, and wealth was the inevitable echo of that impact. Ask yourself, what problem am I solving for others today? Does my work generate comfort, savings, growth, or real transformation in someone's life? Am I growing as a person at the same rate I expect my bank account to grow? Money never surpasses the person holding it. If you want more wealth, you must first elevate your mindset, your skills, and your ability to impact. Money doesn't make you valuable. Your value attracts money. If these words resonate with you, I want you to declare it forcefully in the comments. I am prosperous and I attract wealth. Because when you work on becoming someone who deserves abundance, you don't run after money. Money runs to you. Law 5. Extreme focus. Multitasking is the silent tax that destroys your productivity. We think multitasking makes us faster, but it actually makes us slower, more distracted, and less effective. A Stanford University study showed that people who try to multitask are up to 40% less efficient than those who focus on just one task. And even more alarming, their ability to focus decreases over time, as if they're training their brains to become increasingly distracted. Wealth isn't built by running in all directions. It's built by disappearing from social noise for a while to obsess over a single goal. 1 year of total focus can advance you what 10 years of distraction will never achieve. Look at it from a financial analogy. Focus is like compound interest. Every day you add focused energy to a goal, your progress doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows on an upward curve. Scatterbrainedness, on the other hand, is like spending your money on small, invisible expenses. At the end of the year, you have nothing solid to show for it. Steve Jobs once said, "Focus means saying no to 100 good ideas." Apple didn't create 100 products at once. They created a few, but with such excellence that they redefined entire industries. That level of obsession is only achieved when you shield your attention and decide that for a while, nothing else matters. Imagine your attention is like a ray of sunlight. Scattered, it barely warms. But focused through a magnifying glass, it has enough strength to ignite a fire. That's how your energy works. Dispersed, it doesn't transform. Focused, it creates empires. Now ask yourself, what could you accomplish if, for an entire year, you obsessed over a single project, a single idea, a single financial goal? Law 6. Financial freedom first, then everything else. When you have financial stability, your mind is no longer enslaved by survival. And this isn't a motivational phrase, it's a psychological and financial fact. Poverty consumes a huge portion of your mental capacity. A study published by Princeton University revealed that constant worry about money reduces a person's functional IQ by up to 13 points. In other words, a lack of financial stability literally makes you less capable of solving problems and making strategic decisions. 70% of relationship conflicts, most workplace arguments, and a large percentage of mental health issues are rooted in financial stress. Now imagine how your life transforms when money is no longer a daily concern. When you no longer worry about making ends meet, your mind is free to create, grow, and expand. Financial freedom doesn't mean having millions right away. It means that your income covers your basic expenses without you living in anxiety. It's that point at which your energy stops being invested in surviving and focuses on flourishing. Think of it like building a house. No one starts by decorating the living room if the foundation isn't solid. The same thing happens in your life. Financial freedom comes first, then everything else. Your best version can only emerge on a solid financial foundation. And far from being selfish, it's responsible, because a stable person not only transforms their life, but also has a greater capacity to transform the lives of others. Ask yourself today, am I building a solid foundation that guarantees financial stability? Am I making decisions that bring me closer to financial peace of mind, or are they keeping me stuck on the treadmill of survival? Remember, wealth doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy time, peace of mind, and the freedom to discover who you are without the chains of worry. Declare it in the comments and make it yours. I accept success, money, and happiness into my life. Because abundance begins with an internal decision and is reflected in your daily actions.
Law 7. Use criticism as fuel. Whenever you doubt yourself, remember one essential thing. There will always be those who want to see you fail. Not because you're weak, but because your growth reminds them of what they didn't dare to attempt. Criticism is inevitable on the path to wealth. In fact, it's an indicator of progress. If no one criticizes you, you're probably not building anything big enough. Imagine this. A Harvard Business School study revealed that entrepreneurs who face resistance and skepticism tend to build stronger models because early criticism forces them to refine their ideas, strengthen their plans, and strengthen their character. In other words, opposition is the acid test that separates those who dream from those who conquer. Now, how do you use that criticism as fuel? Don't argue. Don't waste your energy trying to convince. Do what the greats do. Turn it into an internal contract with yourself. Every laugh, every negative comment, every look of contempt is a debt that time will collect. Not with words, but with results. The sweetest revenge isn't raising your voice, it's building your empire. It's silently demonstrating what no one thought possible, and doing it in such a powerful way that your success becomes the strongest argument of your life. Remember, words are forgotten, but results remain. And in the language of finance, numbers never lie. Nothing silences critics more than a green bank statement, a profitable business, or a life of financial freedom built step by step. Imagine that every negative comment is like a drop of fuel. Accumulate enough of it and you'll have the fire to power any engine, even that of your greatest dreams. Law 8. Stagnation is a warning sign. When you feel like nothing is moving forward, it doesn't mean you failed. It means your growth has reached a limit and the universe is pushing you to the next level. Stagnation is like an airplane's control panel, an alarm that flashes red saying you've stopped growing. It's not a punishment, it's a reminder. And those who learn to heed that signal become the ones who break through their financial ceilings the fastest. Think about this. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 65% of people stay in the same job for more than 10 years without a promotion or pay raise. Why? Because they confuse stability with success. But in the financial world, what doesn't grow depreciates. The same thing happens with your mind, your business, and your life. The only way to overcome stagnation is to move. And movement doesn't always mean moving forward in a straight line. Sometimes it means a pivot, learning a new skill, taking a risk in unfamiliar territory, or exploring a different path. Think of money as a river. When it flows, it generates energy, life, and wealth. But if it stagnates, it becomes dead water. The same goes for you. You need movement to get abundance flowing again. The blockage isn't an enemy, it's a teacher. It's telling you, expand, get out of your comfort zone, play on a bigger level. And when you accept that call, what seemed like a wall becomes a door to new opportunities. Law 9. Diversify your sources of income. A study by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics revealed something striking. More than 65% of millionaires have at least 3 active sources of income, and in many cases, more than 5. Why? Because relying on a single paycheck is like walking a tightrope without a safety net. As long as you're paid from a single source, your financial stability depends on an external decision, a layoff, an economic crisis, a downsizing. And from one day to the next, everything you've built can crumble. True wealth isn't measured by how much you earn at a job, but by how many systems you have generating income even while you sleep. Think about this. The average person relies on their monthly salary and spends almost 90% of it on debt, bills, and spending. Millionaires, on the other hand, build residual income, which is a stream of income that doesn't require their constant presence. It could be a digital business, a rental property, dividend-paying stocks, or even a book that generates royalties. The magic of diversification lies in protection and leverage. If one source fails, the others support you. If one source grows exponentially, it accelerates your financial freedom. A clear example is Elon Musk. While Tesla dominates the automotive industry, SpaceX expands its revenue in space, and Starlink creates recurring cash flow through satellite internet. 3 different pillars, but they all build a single empire. Your task isn't to do 10 things at once, but to strategically build 3 sources: a primary one that finances your life, a secondary one that grows little by little, and a third that is an automated system. When you achieve this, you stop living on the edge of a tightrope and begin walking on a solid bridge to abundance.
Law 10. Gratitude as a wealth magnet. It may sound spiritual, but it's actually science applied to money and success. Positive psychology has shown that those who practice gratitude daily are up to 25% more likely to achieve their financial goals. Why does this happen? Because gratitude isn't just a nice feeling, it's a mental adjustment that shifts your focus from lack to abundance. And when your mind is trained to see what you already have instead of obsessing over what's missing, you enter a state where you make clearer and less impulsive decisions, you connect with more genuine and productive relationships, you remain calm in the face of economic uncertainty. Imagine 2 investors. One lives from a place of lack, always afraid of losing. This mindset paralyzes them, causing them to sell prematurely, make panic decisions, and close themselves off from opportunities. The other lives from a place of abundance. They recognize what they already have, value each step, and from that state of confidence, invest with a long-term vision. Who do you think builds the most wealth? Gratitude, applied consistently, is like an invisible magnet. Not because money magically appears, but because it adjusts your behavior to patterns that attract more opportunities. A grateful person inspires confidence, conveys stability, and opens doors in business that a negative person would never achieve. Even in personal finances, gratitude is a game changer. If you are grateful for your current income, you learn to manage it better. If you are grateful for every client or project, you create loyalty and new recommendations. If you are grateful for every small gain, your brain activates the motivation to go for more. Wealth doesn't start in the wallet, it starts in the mind. And gratitude is the fertile ground where the seeds of financial abundance flourish most strongly. Tell me in the comments, what is the first thing you are grateful for today? Because when you share your gratitude, you are declaring to the world that you are ready to receive more. True wealth is not just about accumulating money, but about becoming the person capable of sustaining it. If you apply these 10 laws, your life won't change overnight, but little by little, you'll begin to see how the world responds differently to your energy, your discipline, and your vision. And I want you to remember something. Abundance isn't achieved by accident. It's built every day with every decision. If this resonated with you, it's because you're ready for the next message. Subscribe and join me on this journey because the best of your financial story has yet to be written.